The Hartley Show is an entertainment program and does not own any of the copyrighted material featured in this episode. All copyrighted material featured will be used as fair use for the purposes of criticism, comment, news reporting, and/or research. Taki. Today on The Hartley Show, I'm going to be talking to Mark Gibbon, actor extraordinaire, all-around swell guy. He was even the best man at my wedding. Mark, what is best in life?
To crush your enemy, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the Hartley Homburg.
I'm here with Mark Gibbon, master thespian. Mark, thanks for showing up today.
Thanks for having me, Hartley Homburg.
So now you've done a hell of a lot of geeky stuff, most specifically in the world of voiceover work. You worked on Spider-Man Unlimited, the Fantastic Four cartoon, Iron Man, Armored Adventures, He-Man. Well, I'm missing stuff, aren't I?
No, I think that's most of it. And a lot of Japanese anime and characters.
Well, you were in a Thor cartoon as well, right? As a frost giant, is that right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I just remember that now that you reminded me.
So in Iron Man, you did, what was it, the Hulk?
Did the Hulk.
In Fan 4, you were the Hulk as well?
The Hulk as well in Fantastic Four.
Right.
And then Spider-Man Unlimited, I believe Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And you were this Gauntlet. You were Gauntlet, like, on something or other too, right?
Apparently. Yeah, no, that's going back a long time. That was in X-Men
X-Men Unlimited. Yeah. Gauntlet, of course, from the Avengers Initiative. So in Man of Steel, you're credited as being the, what do they call you? The Roughneck? Roughneck.
Yeah.
Of course, you're classically in that scene. When he saves the workers on the oil rig. But what most people don't know is that you were the voice of and the body of Kelex, the L's manservant robot thing, and you had all these action sequences with Jor-El that they cut out of the film, and then obviously they recast the voice actor as some British woman.
Yeah, Zack Snyder shoots an incredible amount of coverage, and it was I was totally pumped. There were 4 days where it was no one but Russell Crowe and myself on set. I remember I wasn't really supposed to talk about it, but I told you a little bit about it.
He's lying, he didn't tell me anything.
No, I didn't. That's a complete lie, complete fiction. But there was a scene where it was like a Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid thing where we both got our blaster rifles. I put this suit on. I'm an android, so I knew I would never be seen, but my voice was supposed to be used. And basically, Zod and his boys are attacking the attack ships, and I basically give them a big speech, and then I run out, leap off a platform onto a ship, and blow myself up and take an attack ship out. Yeah. Told my nephew about it, or didn't tell him exactly what it was going to be about, but said, look, watch for your uncle. And then had to call him a few months later and say, stop telling your kids that your uncle's going to be involved.
Right. And that must have been so exciting and then really tough emotionally to deal with, right?
Yeah, it was a bummer. I still remember Russell Crowe laughing at me saying, it's too bad they're not actually going to see you, because and making fun of me because he knew it would obviously be CGI. But they cut an enormous amount of stuff from Krypton.
Right.
So,
even your scene as a roughneck, they cut that down a little bit, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, they did quite a bit. But yeah, I was told several months later, I got a phone call that they were going to replace my voice with the voice of Julian Sands, who has a wonderful British accent.
And as you mentioned, you worked with on that Robin Hood thing, right?
That's right. Worked with him on Robin Hood Beyond.
As Little John, of course.
Little John, yeah. And told them I can do a British accent. What do you need me to do? Come on.
Right.
And then, lo and behold, there were no male voices. Because there was originally supposed to be a security android and basically a health android, a healing android, a female and a male voice. And they ended up going with
wrapping it into one
female,
character,
right?
I guess.
Yeah,
British female voice, yeah.
So that's what happened there.
Right.
No bitterness.
And of course, you've even gone from doing a lot of voiceover work in cartoons to actually being the live body version of a cartoon character, Jorgen Von Strangle from the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, one of my favorite gigs of all time.
Right.
Yeah, more recognition from kids than just about any other project I've done. And I played an imbecile, so it was quite an easy transition for me.
And that's basically, you do I think, quite possibly my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. It is sort of channeling that somewhat, no?
Totally.
Wake up, Timmy Turner!
Who say what now?
Coffee break is over, Turner. Time to get back to work. And don't forget to repunch the clock. I love to repunch the clock.
Yeah. It's Arnold, after he's probably had a few too many cocktails, and it's a loudmouth Arnold impersonation.
Who's maybe taking
Let's hear it.
It's just over the top like this. That's all it is. Hartley Holmberg. That's him. Easy to click into.
Do you want to do the rest of the interview like that?
Sure. Yeah, it'd be absolutely fantastic.
Well, of course, you worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger on the
Sixth Day.
Right.
Yeah, that was fun. He was a cool guy. I mean, you know why he became a politician.
Right,
I mean, he got along beautifully with everyone, complete gentleman. And still to this day, employed a guy on set whose job, I don't know what it was other than holding his cigar. His gobby cigar between takes.
That's fantastic.
It's the only thing I saw that guy do in 3 days.
Of course, you also play Rusty Nail in Joyride.
Joyride 2? Yeah, Joyride 2. That was a lot of fun.
You mutilate a lot of people. Isn't there some scene with a rebar through the eyes or something?
Through the skull.
Through the skull.
As I pet him gently and try to calm him, rebar through the top of the skull. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You know what it reminded me of? Was it Duel? I believe Steven Spielberg's first feature film with Dennis Weaver, where he's got the little Volkswagen. He's being tracked by the trucker through the whole movie. And all you ever see is his cowboy boots, and we never get to see his face. And that's essentially what what they were doing with the Joyride movies. You see me a little bit, but I'm always in shadow, and you never really get a good view of me. So.
Sort of like that movie poster where it's sort of a profile view of you in shadows with the hat on and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Now, the original Joyride was a combination of a body actor and a voice actor, right?
Correct.
But you just did the whole thing.
Yeah.
And there's a Joyride 3, is that right?
There is.
But you're not involved in that one?
No bitterness involved.
You guys can suck it.
That's right. No, you know who they hired for that one? Kenny Kersinger.
Oh.
Who was my stunt?
Well, he's a wonderful guy.
Who was my stunt double? No, Kenny Kersinger. Just joking, Ken. Just joking. No, he is. He is. He played my stunt double in the second one.
Oh.
So, which I think basically they needed him for. There was a cool truck scene where he had to crawl up on top, and I was glad I wasn't doing that in the rain.
So, out of everything you've done, what would you suggest, or which one is your favorite, the thing you're most proud of?
I don't know about pride, but I can say that Fairly Odd Parents has been a blast every time I do that.
The abracadabra is the most important thing in all the fairy world. Aloha.
Other than bleeding from the scalp, from dyeing my hair, the super bleach, yeah. I literally bled from the scalp the last time I did it. It was picking scabs off of my head, so that was fun. But no, it's just. I mean, imagine doing animation work. I love doing animation voice work. You get to go in. I can go in unshaven, turn my hat around. Don't have to worry about memorizing lines. The only difference was complete overacting. So the only difference was I did have to learn some lines, but I got to be a complete cheeseball overactor, and it was a blast.
Conan.
Oh, huge.
You read them all, right?
Read them all.
Multiple times?
Yeah, multiple times. Robert E. Howard, and then the compilations that were written by Lynn Carter and L. Sprague de Camp, I believe.
Right.
A huge fan. And then had a lot of the comics. Didn't get all of them. And what are the full format?
Oh, the
or the large
things?
The large format comics back in the old days.
Oh, you're talking like Savage Sword, the magazines, right?
Yeah.
The black and whites.
Okay, the black and whites.
I know you're a big fan of Ernie Chan.
Ernie Chan, yeah. Probably of the artists that I'm aware of, my favorite for Conan and for Hulk, of course, too.
Right, of course, yeah.
Because those are my go-tos. I would buy Conan comics, Hulk comics, and Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
Those are my three.
He does not fit in with those other two.
Not really.
Well. It shows you're a well-rounded human being.
No, I just like that he was a little underdog who could basically challenge this ridiculously superior being who was basically told his boss to take this job and shove it.
Yeah.
Little Johnny Paycheck reference there.
It's almost the equivalent of Jesus telling God to shove it.
Yeah. And then we realized maybe this guy's a little tougher than we actually think through some of the comics, right? And very vulnerable and being blackmailed over love for his woman, and it was a cool storyline.
Who doesn't like to surf naked? Am I right?
He wears underwear, man. Well, some artists draw.
There's never been like anything flapping.
But he tends to not have dangly bits anyways.
No.
So if you had one dream acting gig, what would it be?
One dream acting gig.
You can do anything, perform any character.
I've never thought about that. You know what? I think it would be. It would probably be just some kind of vengeance character, classic Clint Eastwood. You know, avenging some wrong, and so he could be a cop. He could be a dirty cop. He could be a superhero. But that would be a fun one. A guy with a heart, but with a serious anger management issue.
Now, getting back to the world of geekery and all that stuff, you're fairly well versed in comics. Were there any independent comic characters that you really enjoyed?
You introduced me to all of them. I literally hadn't enjoyed comics in probably close to 20 years.
Right.
And then you started passing me all kinds, and it blew my mind. Some of the best writers on the planet are writing graphic novels.
Yeah.
Incredible imaginations and artists that have the talent to illustrate that imagination. So for me, Scalped. I love Scalped.
Yeah, Scalped.
That's a huge one. The Walking Dead, well before the show ever started. You gave me that when I was addicted. I remember knocking at your window at like 3 in the morning, waking up going, do you have the next one? Not quite that obsessive, but Walking Dead I loved. Scalped. Is it The Boys?
The Boys.
The Boys. Another very good one.
Paul Lazenby introduced you to that one,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Lazenby's a huge fan.
The Mauler.
Yeah. Those would probably be the biggest. They'd come. Oh, what was the other one? Is it The Pro? I know it was just the one comic.
The Pro.
But that one,
Brilliant one. The hooker gains superpowers.
That's right.
Ends up blowing Superman.
That's right. That's right. That was a funny one.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Pro's
it.
fantastic.
But I know I'm forgetting probably a dozen, most of which you introduced me to, and there's so much good stuff out there now. You know, you let your imagination fill in the rest, and I literally had to catch up with Walking Dead, the live television series. Literally, I enjoyed the graphic novel a little bit more than I did the series at first, until I kind of allowed myself to really get into it, and I really enjoy it, and I love it. But the book, the series is fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree 100%.
That's all I have to say about that.
The one thing I forgot to mention was you did the Thing in a video game. Is that right?
That's right.
The Imperfects.
Yeah. Is it the that rings a bell? That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And they made a horrible comic of it as well.
And grim. That's right.
Pretty crappy.
They made some.
But as a comic nerd, it must have been a real rush playing characters like Ben Grimm and the Hulk.
Oh, it was a blast. Yeah.
Tough on the throat?
Yeah, Hulk's a hard one. Hulk's probably my all-time favorite, and I grew up adoring the character, right?
Right.
So to play the Hulk was a little bit of a dream for a nerd.
Mark, thanks so much, man.
Thanks for having me out, brother.
Thank you for watching, folks, and as always, a giant thanks to Taz for letting us fill their space up. See you next time.